Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Gianna.
And this is Booked Up Babes.
Woo!
Okay, hi.
Hey guys.
We are back with another installment of the Sarah J. Maas.
Yes. We've reached my favorite book, and I can't even begin to explain the way that I am excited for Emily to keep going with the series.
This book's amazing. This book
is everything.
Yeah,
When people say that other books in the series are their favorite and it's not this one, I'm like, are you sure about that? You wanna think about that?
It's okay to be wrong. But
no. It's okay to be wrong, as people love to tell us. You can have your opinion, and it's wrong.
I can't imagine how this book could have been any better. There's no notes for me.
I think I've said before, this series as a whole is amazing, but I think that Empire of Storms is a perfect fantasy novel.
Yeah.
It has everything.
It can kind of stand alone. It can't fully because there's a lot of things behind it that you have to understand. But in the sense it could.
Yes, it could definitely yes. If she wanted to, she could strip this and make it a standalone novel.
Yes.
In a way. It's a perfect fantasy book.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that you liked it.
Yeah. And my epiphany about this book is that it's the Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. Emily said this and I was like, wow.
This book
you're
is Fellowship
so
of the Ring.
Right.
100%.
Yeah, no, because she was like, everybody goes there. They were just together for so long.
The whole book.
And now they have their own journeys that they have to go on.
Yeah.
They separate.
They all come together. They all start to come in, they all start to show up. They're all together.
Mm-hmm.
They're working together. They all have the same enemy. They all have the same goal. And then at the end, they're like, we all have to go our separate ways and do all our separate tasks that will bring us probably all back together for one final battle royale is what I assume.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got it pretty spot on. I feel like Lord of the Rings is the blueprint.
Oh, I mean,
for most.
Tolkien really, who wrote fantasy before him?
I don't think anybody.
Yeah, I think he is the blueprint because, it was him and C.S. Lewis, but they were writing at the same time.
Yeah.
They were best friends.
I did recently find out that Dante's Inferno can definitely be.
Oh, okay. And that's
fantasy.
older. That's older.
But
And Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
I guess they're...
Yeah, but when you think about today's fantasy, the hero's journey, right?
Yes.
The standard fantasy hero's journey of today's day and age.
Well, the Odyssey.
Oh yeah. I guess.
So I guess
he didn't really do it.
But
he isn't the blueprint.
Tolkien, were there trilogies of fantasy novels? Because the Odyssey's one book.
Yes, but if you really think about the Odyssey though, and then you think about Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is what we have today for fantasy.
Yeah, when you think about what somebody actually said something about how most. This is going off topic. Never mind. Stay on point.
This is a very interesting conversation though, because it is I think the fantasy we read today, modern day fantasy novels, we named a few older ones, but modern day fantasy novels, Tolkien is the blueprint.
Yes, especially when you're looking at books that have, found family aspects to them. The Odyssey was not a found family. That was Odysseus on a journey alone.
Yeah.
It's still a hero's journey, but he was by himself.
Yeah.
And he was finding his way back home.
Yeah.
And when you think about these major fantasy novels like Sarah's Throne of Glass or Crescent City or Brandon Sanderson, there's so much found family aspect there where you have this whole cast of characters that are integral to the story and they all mean something to each other.
Yeah.
It's when you think about where that may have stemmed from, it's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's fair. Yeah. I definitely I finished it and they all went their separate ways and I went, Fellowship?
Which one of you is
Well, who's Frodo?
Which one of you is?
I think I decided
Samwise?
Dorian's Frodo.
Okay, who's Samwise?
Manon.
Okay, yeah, actually no, yeah. Okay.
And the wyvern is Gollum.
Abraxos, we got some news for
Abraxos,
you.
there we go. I could not think of his name for a second.
We've got some news for you. You're certainly a character.
Yeah. You're just, you want to help out, but you're also a little quirky,
Just a little bit. Oh my god, wait, this is so true.
Rowan is definitely, oh my god, what's his character's name? He's,
why is it whenever it matters we can't remember?
We can't remember
But we
his
can
name.
remember it at the drop of a hat any other time.
So there's so many names in my head from this book right now that I can't think of Lord of the Rings names.
I was gonna say Galadriel, but
Galadriel's she's in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
You said a name.
Not her.
Erewhon. Arwen. No, these are all names in Lord of the Rings though. There's all
Aragon.
No, Aragon.
Aragon is like a dragon book series from elementary school.
It's something like
Aragorn.
Aragorn. There we go.
Is it?
No, it's Aragorn. It's Aragorn.
Okay.
I hate us right now, but I love us.
No, it's not Aragorn. Jenna, my love, Jenna, if you're watching this, you're not. I'm so sorry because she would be like, "You're kidding me, right?" I've also just started
Olivia's
Googling
gonna be really
Jenna's name.
Olivia's gonna be really disappointed in us too. We have quite a few friends.
Aragorn. No, Aragorn.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. It's Aragorn.
Oh, look at that face.
I know. That's Rowan.
Okay, and Aelin is Arwen.
Arwen's a badass. Don't come from Arwen.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Also, Liv Tyler. Come on.
I know, but I guess like in relation to like.
Yeah, she's not much of the story.
No,
yeah, fair.
Damn, come on my neck. Shit.
Don't you
I
dare.
will never disrespect Arwen again.
Oh my
Liv
God.
Tyler, I worship you.
I got you get really upset for a second. I was like, what? I mean, it's not a true science here, but
But like,
it's kind of funny.
I get it.
Yeah. I think Lorcan's Gimli. And I'm done. That was all. That was my final one.
Sorry. Yes. Yes. That one's probably the most accurate, if we're gonna get real here. Fenris is,
Not Legolas.
yes.
Oh, Legolas, okay. Yeah, because he's really handsome.
He's beautiful, he's agile. I'm like, I can't remember any of these people's names.
Adian's Boromir.
Yes. Oh my god, Emily, we've got a good thing going here. You are so spot on.
No, we just need to do Merry and Pippin and then we're good to go.
I don't know if anyone really fits
I was going to
that.
say Gabriel and Fenris for Merry and Pippin, but you gave him Legolas, which makes sense. Because he also shoots arrows.
True.
Yeah.
Fenris.
Fenris, sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry.
You're thinking of Danica Fenris from Crescent City.
The names right now in my brain are a jumble of fantasy.
It's also crazy because, like, I couldn't remember Aragorn's name or Legolas's name, but I remember that you said a name of the last name of a character in another book. Sure. My brain is so selective.
If I think of who Merry and Pippin are, I'll get back to you.
Yeah. We'll let you know. She's going to think of it like 20 minutes from now. She's going to yell it.
If you were not a fan of Lord of the Rings, I'm so sorry about that tangent.
Yeah.
But that was my epiphany in this book, was that I was like, that's hilarious. The Fellowship has been broken up.
They're on journeys now.
I know. Which
Who's
I'm...
Gandalf?
Oh, that's a good one.
Gandalf is the Lord of the North. The stag.
The stag.
I stand by that. I stand by that heavy.
I'll think about that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, for people who have read this entire series and who know Lord of the Rings, you get me, I get you. You get me.
Yeah, no, I'll let that one be. I'll let that one be since I don't fully know the whole series yet. Well, I will say, as a first-time reader of this book, that was a 5-star for me.
Oh my god, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, the series just gets better and better and better as you go on.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's at the beginning of the book, you know, like Rowan has to go save Dorian, but like Manon also saves Dorian and then like puts her life at risk by doing that. She like doesn't want to kill her second and then stabs her grandmother, which badass.
Yeah, I remember reading that for the first time and being like, holy shit.
I texted you and I was like, did she kill her grandma? What just
One
happened?
can only hope.
Oh my god. No, so I mean, that's just at the beginning when you start to thinking about it, and like,
oh, the book starts off strong.
It starts off strong, and that's like not even the beginning, but like, you know, Lorcan and wow, my name's tonight. Alid. We've even talked about them today, but Lorcan and Alid, like, they start to team up and travel with the circus, and that becomes a whole thing.
Which, I'm sorry, every time I like to think about like Lorcan and the circus, I get like really, I just like picture him like this giant fey man, like juggling and like taking his shirt off for like people, as like someone who just like hates everything and everyone. And I'm just like, this is like picturing him doing that. I'm like, this is literally one of the funniest storylines that could have possibly been given to this exact character.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's such a silly storyline.
It is.
For someone who is so serious and hates everything. I'm like, yeah, but you're a show pony now.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Gotta do it to survive, baby.
And their relationship, the like build of it,
so good.
It's good. It's just so natural. I wouldn't even like put a trope to it because they're not enemies. They're not friends. They just have this slow burn.
Yeah, they're like, actually, no, you're right. I was just like, I guess it could be kind of enemies, but like not really.
No, they're not enemies. They aren't really friends. They just kind of like are around each other. I guess they're like proximity.
Two travelers the trope is two travelers who decide to travel together.
People who are stuck together. Proximity. Proximity love.
The trope is proximity.
Because it's not like either one of them are against their will. There's no Beauty and the Beast energy. It's like...
No, it's just full on like two very capable people deciding that they need something from one another and they're gonna travel together.
And over time they start to be like, kind
of like it.
And you know what?
I think Lorcan even says like, I do not mind you or something like that. And she's like, wow, glowing. Glowing compliment.
I do appreciate too that Lorcan acknowledges the age difference as well. Thank you, Lorcan. This book is great. Because he's even older than Rowan.
Well, you like that about Rowan too.
I know, but he's even older, and she's, I think, younger than Aelin.
She is younger than Aelin, yeah.
So, like, their age difference is even more extreme, and he acknowledges it.
Quick question. When you've been alive for over 500 years, like, I know that you've been alive for 500 years, but there's so many other people who haven't, so are you just supposed to, like, not talk to them or not be intimate with them?
Oh, you mean based on my standards?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
I need you to tell me what are the guidelines here?
Well, so, like, age is not a cure for adolescence. So, like, quote from my mom. My mom used to say that shit all the time, and it's the best line ever.
Drop.
Yeah, Elaine Baker crushes it with that one. But age is not a cure for adolescence, but at the end of the day, as long as you're acknowledging the fact that you have a 500-year age gap, and you're, like, a little apprehensive, I can, like, and it's not like, okay, they look young, right? So there's, like, a level of, like, I look young, which I think sometimes helps people with big, but, like, as long as you're like, hey, you know what? I'm recognizing the fact that there's a power dynamic here where I have a lot more world experience than you, and I'm acknowledging it, it seems a little less, it makes the ick come out of it a little bit for me.
Okay.
Because there is a power dynamic when you've lived on the earth for 500 years and this person's lived on the earth for 19.
Yeah, yes, for sure.
So like acknowledging it and being like, hey, like, and even being a little like, I don't know if I want to pursue a romantic relationship with this person. Like, hooking up's one thing. Romantic entanglements is another.
Okay. So there's guidelines here, guys. She's got a good system in place.
I think, like, I just need the boundary of acknowledgement.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
So we have two self-aware kings.
Yes, that's
Rowan
the thing.
And Lorcan, you guys really, you stepped up to Emily's standards.
Thank you. Whereas, like, Manon also kind of acknowledges that Dorian is like 23. And she's also 100 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, love the cougar moment for her. How often do we have an older fae woman, or no, witch, she's a witch, but like still she's like, can live forever, hooking up with a 23-year-old.
I know. Yeah.
Get it, girl.
Yeah. She's like.
But she also acknowledges, she's like, you don't like go be with a human. Like, don't fuck around with me. Because she's also acknowledging the fact that it's a little weird.
I don't think that she's acknowledging the age difference.
No,
she's acknowledging
not.
the fact
I was trying to
that
give her credit.
He's a mortal, and she's like, fuck mortals.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to fuck you.
Yeah. Well, he's also like, I don't want somebody who's breakable.
Yeah. So, Dorian's character in this book, like, you really get to see, like, he's an entirely different character from this book. I mean, Queen of Shadows, he wasn't even really himself, so it's like...
He's barely in it.
So, like, you think about who he was in, like, Heir of Fire to who he is in this book, and you really, really see and feel the difference in who he is as a person because of what he went through.
Yeah.
And, like, he is... I remember, I think in this book... Yeah, it was definitely in this book. It's in this book when they're all on the boat together, and, like, Adian's like... I don't understand why he would go even near that witch. And she's like, because he's looking for somebody who even remotely understands anything about what he's been through. Like, he's like, people look for comfort where they need to find comfort.
Yeah.
And, like, I love Lysandra so much.
Yeah, she's the best.
She's the fucking best. And she's just like, you can't judge him he's different. He's a changed person. And you have no idea what he went through. And people need to find comfort in what they can. And this is what he wants. So, like, let him have it.
Yeah.
And that is Manon for him. Like, he had a very breakable person before. She literally died, her head off of her body. And then he went through hell. I think that's something, sometimes I think, that people really overlook Dorian's trauma because everybody in this book
has trauma.
This series has immense trauma.
Yeah. This series could be changed to trauma bonding.
Literally. I'm like, oh, you guys are friends? Why? Trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding. Yep.
And I think that sometimes Dorian's trauma gets overlooked. And I'm talking about like in social spaces. I have never overlooked it. I think that he was deeply affected by this.
Yeah.
And like for the rest of the series, you see him heal, but he's never the same person ever again. And what he wants is different now. And what he wants is a witch who's real hot. Who's really hot and basically doesn't give him any shit. Like they go toe to toe together.
I know, I love it.
They go toe to toe. And she loves that he's not afraid of her. She's like, this is weird as fuck. But I'm like, you think it's hot as fuck that he's not afraid of you.
Yeah, because he's a human. But I mean, he's a human who can defend himself very easily. Because of his magic, he could literally strangle you from across a room if he wanted to.
Oh,
he's very like able. Like he's not breakable.
No,
he
not
just happens
anymore.
To be human.
Yeah, not anymore.
But I did not get why she loved him so much until this book.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh. Because Dorian did not do it for me at all, this whole series so far. He just, like, he was sweet. I was like, yeah, he's fine. Yeah.
He was a pretty boy.
Yeah, and
something that we know about me,
thing.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, we know this.
I like pretty boys, okay?
So, where she's in, like, more of the Rhysand camp, I'm more in the Cassian camp.
Yes.
Like, that's kind of, if that's the line... This is Dorian, you know, he lands in the Rhysand category a little bit more.
I also am I'm in love with like Rowan and
and
they are by no means pretty boys at all. Like they're
more on the Cassian side of things a little bit, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, but I do like those scenes where where he kisses her. And then he goes, I changed my mind.
Yeah, and he just leaves. As she's chained up.
Ugh.
And she's like, are you fucking kidding me?
She is so into it. And then I think it's Lorcan not Lorcan, it's like Gabriel who comes in the room. He's like,
Fenris.
It's a Fenris, and he's like, it smells like her female arousal in there. I'm like, I hate that no one can hide that they've been turned on the night before.
I know. When
I
you're
hate it for them.
you can't. You can't.
You can't hide that somebody turned you on for 5 seconds.
You're literally on blast at all times.
That's so terrible.
On blast.
They can hear you talking. They can hear you fucking. They can hear even if somebody turned you on. Or smell it. Sorry, I hear it.
You are on fucking blast.
All the time. So funny.
But yeah, so like, and then the second time when they actually do it, and he says that he wants to take off like her shirt, and she starts doing it herself, and he's like, I said I would do it. Oh and then like with his phantom hands, literally like pushes her hands away. I'm like
so hot. The way
down bad for this man. Down bad. Me, man, down.
The way he talks in the bedroom is very, very, very attractive.
He's so cocky.
Yes.
That's like, see, those are the moments where I'm like, you're still Dorian in that sense, but you got an edge to you now. Like, you're not like the sweet simpering boy who like has this cocky attitude and cocky, like, you've got that cocky confidence, but you've got an edge to you now. Like, you're not afraid of anything. Like, you're literally saying this to a cold-blooded witch who has iron teeth
and nails.
And she just left you.
I know.
The fact that I was like, oh, when they like literally had sex, I was like, Manon, there's no way that you can ever deny that you are not down bad for this man.
Oh yeah. And now they're going off together.
Mm-hmm.
So like, big fan of that.
Yes, exactly. Another part that I loved too was like when they were in like the marsh or whatever, and one very underrated relationships in this book for me personally was Rowan and Dorian, because they
become friends.
They spend like time together.
Yeah, they do.
And they they get to know each other because they travel together, and then they were in Skulls Bay for who knows how long before Aelin shows up. And it's the moment where they're in the marsh and Dorian and Aedion are about to go at it about who he eats like a little prince, and then like this creature like comes out of the water to attack Manon, but Dorian halts it without even like looking at it. Yeah. And he's like, should I kill it or send it back? And then Aelin's like, funny, I thought we had shields up. And he's just like, I don't know what you mean. And it's like, Rowan like took that as a moment to like a teaching moment, like a training moment. And I'm like, there's like little things that happen between Dorian and Rowan where I'm like, I love you guys. Like when Dorian talks about, they're giving him shit about the witch. Yeah. And he like makes a comment about Rowan and Aelin. And Gabrielle was like, you want to pick another argument? And he like looked at Rowan and he was like, I'm sorry, I meant like no disrespect at all. And I'm just like, I love you guys.
Well, at one point Rowan literally refers to him as his friend.
Which is like, an honor.
I know. He's like, well, my friend Dorian. Like,
an honor.
Yeah. So I remember like logging that away and being like, oh, interesting that he like refers to him as his friend.
Because like he doesn't refer to anyone as his friend.
No, and he refers to Aedion as his brother.
Yes, because they're like part of the same court and yeah. Which
the whole Aedion of it all. Aedion is like definition of toxic masculinity.
When you said in Queen of Shadows, you were like, I like Aedion. I was like,
Yeah, he's fine at first.
No, he's the fucking worst.
He can't handle, but like, you think about his childhood. He honestly, of most of the people here, he's been through probably the least trauma. He's been through some. Everyone's been through something.
Again, like, I think
a demon didn't take over his body.
No, but he did watch and have his entire family slaughtered.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
did Aelin.
Well, yes, but then he was essentially killing people for the king. For the man who
That's true.
Also, and like on the side, like helping a rebellion, like trying to like.
No, I'm not saying he doesn't have trauma. No, I said of everyone.
Of everybody who has trauma, no, I don't think that Aedion has the worst of it.
No, but that's what I meant.
Yeah, no, I am not an Aedion fan.
Well, so what I mean is like, I'm not saying he's trauma-free, because there's no one in this series that's trauma-free, but he has room to have stupid emotions like that in a way that everyone else is like, I've moved on with my life.
Yeah.
I don't need to hold on to stupid emotions like that. And he's still living in a place where, like, it matters to him if he has say in a decision.
Yeah.
In a way where even Rowan's left out of his own mate/wife's decision-making, and he goes, okay, well, she had her reasons.
Mm-hmm. And people don't like Rowan for that. Did you know that?
Why?
Because they feel so the same way that they feel about like Hunt, they feel about Rowan. They think that Hunt and Rowan are like two characters who just like pretty much take shit laying down and just like let Bryce and like Aelin do whatever the fuck they want. And they're like, I'm like, you cannot look me in the eyes and tell me that you think that Rowan Whitethorn is a little bitch.
So,
sorry.
If you
sorry.
If you hold that opinion, I respectfully disagree with you.
You're wrong.
I also think what's wrong with a man who respects that he has with a strong woman?
And that's the other side of the argument.
Like, what's wrong with a guy who recognizes the fact that they're both alpha personalities, but that his woman is probably even a bigger personality or a bigger decision maker or a bigger whatever it is than he is, and he takes a step back and goes, okay.
Also,
what's wrong with that?
Sorry. She's his queen.
Yeah, he is. He serves her.
Number one, she's his queen. Number two,
that's their dynamic.
Like, they're taking back her kingdom.
Yeah.
It's her role.
Also, she's yet to prove that any decision she's made is the wrong one.
Literally.
So, like, if she started making decisions that were fucking them over, I'm sure he would step up and be like, hey, babe, let's have a moment.
We should probably talk about this.
But, like, so far, she's, like, kind of knocked it out of the park when she makes these wild decisions behind everyone's back.
Yep.
So he's like, all right, well, she has her reasons. We're going to figure it out. Like, I know she doesn't want me to go after her, but I'm going to.
Okay, to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Not with Rowan. No one can ever say a bad word about him.
You say Hunt.
Not even Hunt.
Okay.
No one. The two of them, I think, have earned
I protect both of them.
I'm gonna rock with my baby, okay? Nobody fucking tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Nobody tell me how to feel. I'm gonna rock with my bitch. Like, you guys have earned that.
Yeah,
Go
for sure.
for it.
Yeah.
Like, no one talk bad about them to me. We will, the two of us, we will defend.
I just don't understand women in this world who, like, have feminist values, or maybe don't, maybe you don't, but maybe you do. And you're watching a strong woman be supported by her man, and you're mad at him for not being
Yes.
Like, what?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry. Can't get behind you on that one.
Okay.
But to play devil's advocate here, which I'm still not an Adian fan. That's not my guy. For reasons that will get even worse in the next.
I'm sure. He's already shown his character.
Yeah, they get worse. Get worse before they get better, for sure. But to play devil's advocate here, I do understand being a part of, because this is, I know it's not his throne.
Oh, being part of the decision making?
But it is his kingdom. It is where he grew up. It's his court. It's his cousin. It's the place in which he was going to spend the rest of his life. I do understand wanting to be privy to decisions that are being made, especially when you're traveling and changing directions and doing this, that, and the other thing, and you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I completely understand that. But I am an Aelin apologist until I die. So if she wants to move in silence, I support that. Move in silence, girl.
Well, and it's not like she leaves everyone out. She includes the people she needs to include when she needs to include them for the parts she needs them included in. And then because a lot of times she's like, well, if I include everyone, and this is always a discussion, we'll never get anything done. Yeah. Like, which we all know, like, collaboration is great, but collaboration takes time. And they're in a pinch, and she is one step ahead already, because I think she had figured out, even before she went back in time and watched everything unfold, I think she had it all figured out before that even happened.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely.
So, like, yeah, because you think she doesn't, and then everything happens, and you're like, wait, she had to have known about it before.
That's right, because Aedion is like, where are our ships? Where are our armies? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, and then, like, that everything happens, and you're like, oh, well, yeah, she's been plotting the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's happening right under our noses, too.
Because she does notice when it's, they talk about Baba Yellowlegs, and what Baba Yellowlegs said to her. Mm-hmm. I think that's when it started to click for her, because it's something about no name.
Nameless is, because she said that, someone said that Maeve, like, nameless is her price.
Yes.
And that's when I started to click with her.
Yes, exactly. That's when I think she was like, oh shit, this is going to be me having to sacrifice myself in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
And that'll even make more sense, like, later on. But, like, there were so many things, like, even when it came to, like, little things that she did throughout the entire book, that at the end you were like, that's why she did that. Mm-hmm. Okay, like, it was all happening under our... This book is so good.
It's really good.
It's so good. This is why when people say that they either didn't read Assassin's Blade or they didn't want to read Assassin's Blade, I'm like, you have to read Assassin's Blade to fully appreciate the ending of this book.
Yep.
There's no way that you're going to fully appreciate the full... Like, the writing is so good.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah's just, like, interweaving of everything over essentially what is eventually going to be, like, 8 books is just, like...
It's mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah. I understand the idea of reading Assassin's Blade later so that information's fresher for when that actually comes into play.
Yeah, there's like a really big debate about like, do you read it first? Do you read it second? Do you read it third? Do you read it fourth? Always read it before Queen of Shadows. For sure. Definitely read it before Queen of Shadows. Because then in Queen of Shadows, like...
That's when it all starts coming in.
She's dyeing her hair red because she's trying to be... Ansel. She's trying to be Ansel, like... And you like, oh, get these other things. You're like, oh. Mm-hmm. I don't think you should read it first. That's the like, and also Sarah doesn't either. On her website, she gave a reading order, and Assassin's Blade came after Crown of Midnight.
Oh,
so because even in Heir of Fire,
there's a few moments.
Aelin starts opening up about things that you won't know about if you didn't read.
Yeah.
So, and I just like, I don't think you should read Assassin's Blade first, but you should read it.
I mean, even if you do, it's fine, but it's just, I can understand the fact that the information's more fresh right before it starts showing up in the storyline. Like, because before then, it's not in the storyline, so, and it's a lot of information, where even I read it later than, almost later than you're supposed to, and I'm still like, oh yeah, these people haven't been talked about for a couple of books now, so it's like, I loosely remember it.
Yeah, so good.
But it's amazing. It's, the weaving's incredible. And she is really good at a twist in a way that's very clear and concise and thorough. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like sometimes twisted ends of books can be a little gappy or really fast or really, but she's always very like thorough and clear. And you're like, there were threads to all of this. Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know I was pulling on every thread to get here.
Yeah. Oh my God, so good.
She's very smart about that.
So good.
It's impressive.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
All right. So we talked about Dorian.
Yeah. We've kind of touched on a little bit of everything, but not everything. So do we want to talk about Aelin and Rowan's like relationship?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
We are, just to get it out of the way, we both agree that where they finally had sex was the worst possible place to do it.
Terrible.
I know it's supposed to be, like, romantic.
Sex on the beach for me screams sand in my crack.
They didn't have any blankets.
Like...
Even if you did have blankets.
They even say that they have to, after 2 times in the sand, they have to go and do it again in the water because they're so caked on. And I was like, ugh.
But if you think about it, these are people who, like,
They're dirty.
I was like, they're really dirty.
You're not sleeping on
They're covered in blood. They're covered in sweat. They're covered in dirt. Like, sometimes they won't shower.
They're lucky
or
they
bathe
shower, yeah.
for, like, weeks at a time. Unless it's in a creek. So it's like, you want to know what? Get your sand all up in there.
Fucking on a beach is clean for you.
This is not foreign to you. You guys are used to being really uncomfortable in your filth.
I just was like, as a reader, I was like, I mean, but it's like, you know, like, gotta have you where I have you kind of energy too, which is hot.
Yes. But their relationship throughout this entire book was just like so wonderful. Like, so wonderful.
Yeah, for sure. The sandy beach butts, not my thing. But
their relationship throughout this entire book was so beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Like, from the moment when she, like, realized that he, like, when she sent him to go get Dorian. Like, Aelin is so strong all the time.
Yeah.
And I have said this before. When I first read this series, I liked them. But I didn't, like, really, really see their relationship for the way that it actually was.
Okay.
And then I reread it, and I was like, their relationship is so beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's not even funny.
Yeah.
And, like,
even the way Maeve breaks it down in the end.
Yes.
Like, she's like, they both couldn't recognize that they were each other's mates because they were so deep in their own, like, sadness. And she's like, so, like, lucky for me, because they were both such broken people, they were unable to acknowledge the fact that they're meant for each other.
Oh, my God.
And I was just like, that's kind of gorgeous.
That's so beautiful. Maeve, you stupid fucking bitch.
You're the worst, but that's beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
I was like, fuck.
You terrible, awful person.
Oh my God.
But wow, you said that so wonderfully.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Oh my God. I was like, paint them in a better picture, Maeve.
You really got me to care about them.
Oh,
now you're going to destroy them. Amazing. But no, yeah, like, their relationship, this entire book was just so, because Aelin is so strong all the time. Like, she feels like she has to be. And with him, it's like,
she can let go.
She can just let go a little bit. And, like, I think Rowan's better at being he's much better at being guards down with her than, like, she is.
Yeah.
So, like, even when, in the beginning, when, like, they met with the lords, and they were like, which also, like, that entire group of lords were the worst. That entire conversation was so demeaning and awful. And I was listening to it when I was audiobooking this book recently, and I was like, I've never audiobooked this book.
Oh, it's so good.
And I was at that part, and the rage that I was feeling, I'm like, I've read this, and I was like, wow, these guys suck. And then I was listening to it, and I was like, oh my God, I'm enraged right now.
Yeah.
They were terrible.
They're the worst.
But it was, like, brought up that she might have to marry.
Yes.
And that was, like, a moment where the two of them were like, you actually might have to marry. And Rowan's like, I know that she would do it to save her kingdom.
Yeah.
But they're both like, and like, both in both of their minds, as she's saying goodbye to him, and she's like, I want to say the words that I've been thinking, but I don't want to do it. And then, like, as he's leaving, he's like, I wanted to say the words that I was thinking, but I couldn't. And I'm like, my God, you guys love each other so much.
Oh my God, I do. Their relationship's so beautiful. And you know what? It's funny, like, they're mates. They've been mated for each other since before they existed. But they still chose each other before they even found out they were mates, which I love.
So, do you remember, let's take it back. I had this conversation with you.
Yeah.
About how, and this was, I had them in mind. I was talking about them.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I was like, I think that at some level, yes, mates are destined.
Yeah.
But in some stories, because in some stories it's like using the mate thing is like the easiest way for them to like,
be
get
connected.
together. And I'm
Yeah,
just like,
that's where I
hate
hate it. That's where I hate it.
But like with them, like it really was like an honest choosing of each other.
Yep.
In like more ways than one. And the only thing, like the only like way that like fate brought them together, it was Maeve. Maeve was the only reason that they were brought together.
She was also the reason why they were separated.
Yes. But if you think about it, like, what if she never did any of that? When? Like, when? You know?
Yeah, for sure.
When?
Well, and I will say, I like, because they didn't recognize their mating bond, neither one of them did until they were in too deep anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And even he doesn't really recognize it till much later than she recognizes it first.
Yeah, because he's like...
He thought he already had his.
Yeah, he's like, I don't even know how this is. I'm feeling these things when I thought that, like...
I already had it.
I already had that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I know that you're... But I think that both of them are like, is it possible to have another one after one has passed? Like, does that start something again? And they're questioning it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, when I asked her that question, or when we talked about that, it was with Rowan and Aelin and Rowan, because I was like, they really did, to like the core of their being.
They chose each other.
Outside of the mating process, they chose each other. And yeah, like,
because they couldn't even feel the mating bond when they first met, even.
No.
So it's like, it speaks volumes to their relationship in like comparison to, spoilers for ACOTAR if you haven't read it, but like in comparison to their, like, where it's very obvious you're mates with somebody, like the minute you meet them.
Yeah, no, in ACOTAR it's like, oh, you see someone, you're like, mate.
And I honestly, like, one more ACOTAR spoiler, I really kind of want Elaine to like deny the bond just so that there's somebody who does it, so there's proof that there's choice.
I don't want...
But I also love Lucien.
Want Lucien to be happy.
Lucien's my boy. I've loved Lucien since book 1.
I want him to be happy.
Gianna can attest, I thought Lucien was the love interest when I first started ACOTAR.
I feel like most people are like, why would you be with Tamlin when Lucien was
Lucien's right there the whole time. Lucien's so much better. But anyways, so back on the book. But I do appreciate, spoiler over, I do appreciate that about their mating bond. And then they get married too, before they really have everything solidified that they...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, their relationship is probably one of the more beautiful relationships that I've ever read about.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous.
For sure. And like just the progression of it over all of these books, and like, oh my god,
it's so good.
I love them.
Well, and I like now that it has side quest romances, so it's not just their romance that you have to hang on to, which I think sometimes can drag a romance series. A romantic series, you know? Like, I feel like when you only have one to hang on to, it becomes a little redundant within the fantasy line, which I think Sarah's incredible at, is creating several romance stories within one series. She did it. She's doing it in Crescent City. She did it in ACOTAR. Like, I think she's really good at being like, yeah, they're the main ones, but I got all these side romances going for you. So I'm feeding you, baby birds. I'm feeding you. And you don't feel hungry for romance or dried up by it.
And like, I can't even really pick my favorite side romance.
In this one?
I can't pick.
Or just in general of all her books. Well, I guess like ACOTAR, each book is their own individual.
I was gonna say, you mentioned ACOTAR, but I really think that ACOTAR is very singular.
It's singular. Because once they decide, she's like, this book is about so-and-so.
Yeah, so she does a very like singular point of view. So like the first 3 books were Feyre, then you had Nesta. We don't know who's the next one.
Yeah, we don't know who's next.
I don't know if it's gonna be Nesta again or what.
Yeah, I hope it's not Nesta again. Maybe.
I don't know. After the way the Crescent City book ended, I was like, I feel like it might be Nesta.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Who knows? Well, all I know is that I love Manon and Dorian, and so we already talked about them. Lorcan and Elide are amazing. Adian and Lysandra. I love Lysandra and I don't love him. But I hope, like, she's also like a badass bitch who like puts him in his place. So I hope she can like go to his toxic masculinity. Like, I feel like she is Sabrina Carpenter singing Please, Please, Please.
Wait a minute. I think you made a connection. I think you said something real good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would have never put that into like a thought. That was good.
Thank you.
That was really good. And you haven't even finished the series yet.
I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just, she seems like she isn't yet, but I feel like he's on his way to like kind of low-key embarrassing her and her being like, you're being an idiot.
god.
It's like I've had experience with toxic masculinity or something.
Oh my god, it's like it's really normal and probably the same signs like most of the time. It's crazy.
Oh my god, so funny. It doesn't make him a bad guy, and he can grow from it, but it's just right now I'm not a fan of him.
Nah, I don't love Adium. That's not my man.
I do love the cadre dudes. Gavriel, I feel like hasn't had enough screen time yet. But like I want to know more about him.
Yeah, Gavriel is I love Gavriel so much. He's like the wise, calm presence.
Yeah.
And then you have Fenris, who is just like basically the Riddick of like he's so because like Rowan even talks about him. He's like he's so young.
Yeah, he's the youngest of them.
And Rowan's like I remember being his age and acting his age. He's like he's so young because that's what they call him, like the pup.
But the women they're with aren't young.
Ooh, I have the ickies.
Point made.
Yuck.
Just saying, he's older than the women they're with.
I know, but I think he's talking about in relation to like
Age.
being a fae. No, like being like
I'm
a
just
fae.
kidding.
Being a fae.
Just being an asshole.
Being a fae. No, I think that he's saying like because
Yeah.
Fenris is a little bit of an asshole.
Also men tend to mature slower than women. So
yeah, I mean Fenris will make it to 500 years old, but that's like 25 in real men years.
I also wonder, because we can never find out because people don't live this long in real life, if you knew you could live forever, if you would have the urge to mature, to like grow up. You know, like in our world, like we have till we're maybe like if we're lucky 85, 90, right? So like when we're in our 30s, we're like, oh, well, we have to have our shit together. Oh, we have to be doing this. Oh, we have to be doing that. Oh, da da da. Like, oh, by your 40s, you should be doing this. By your 50s, because you only have 90 years, give or take, if you're the luckiest person around. If you were like, I have forever, would you just act like you're 25 for like 100 years?
I feel like it's like natural.
And you're also not aging. So you also like feel young.
But I feel like it's natural to want to grow.
Sometimes, some people.
But this is the thing. We're talking about people who have average lifespans. If you're alive, if you
That's
like
what I'm
are
saying,
like, oh,
though.
I will. But that's the thing. It's like I really do think that if someone knows that they are not gonna die for 500 years plus,
Yeah.
like I think it would be a natural inclination to maybe want to grow a little bit.
Well, yeah, like once every like 50 years.
But to them, like once every 50 years and 500 years is like a normal rate of growth.
Well, that's what
You
I'm
know?
saying. But that's what I'm getting at. Is like maybe maturity levels are different.
Oh, for sure.
That's
But that's
what I'm
why,
getting
like,
at.
I don't know. I can't remember how old Fenris is, but like, he's definitely like over 100 years old.
Yeah.
But he's still considered like a child.
Well, because
He
like
still acts young.
I feel like because we know our lifespans are shorter, we feel the need to mature faster.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And so what I'm saying is because they know their lifespans are longer, they don't feel the need to mature as quickly. They're gonna spend 100 years being a dick and like fucking around and drinking and acting like a 22-year-old, and they probably look like a 25-year-old, so like fuck it, you know what I mean? So like there has to be, I'm sure there is some level in these books where like it's weird to read about like, oh, I'm 632 and she's 19. But in reality, like their like approach to life and living is probably different.
1,000%.
And normally these 19-year-olds in these books have been through like fucking hell and back in their 19 years. And so they're mature for their age.
I think that you're spot on there, babe.
It's still weird to me, but I can
Every
level
time
it
you
there.
say, I'm 650 years old, she's 19, I'm like,
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
yuck. But yet,
I read it.
I love it. But yet I
This is me
love it.
rationalizing enjoying this. That's what that was right now.
Yeah, no, I think you've got a good point, babe.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Thank you. I needed that.
It's kind of like, well, because we were just talking about how like a lead is so smart and so cunning
Because she's had to be her whole life.
her whole life.
Yeah.
But then you have like Lorcan, who's like maybe 600. He says he's over 500 years old.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and it's, oh my God, it's kind of actually a really gross conversation to have. Because it's like, well, a lead doesn't act her age because she couldn't ever really be her
Yeah.
age. Also, we talk about this in fantasy novels. A 19-year-old, I'm not saying that it's okay, but like when you think about a 19-year-old in a fantasy novel, and then you think about like a 19-year-old living today.
Oh, they're different.
Oh, I think that they've gone through some shit.
Like 19-year-olds today have not experienced war.
No.
And
or starvation.
Yeah, it's different.
Well, maybe you have. I'm not going to speak for all 19-year-olds in the world because there are definitely 19-year-olds.
No, I mean in America. We're talking about American 19-year-olds.
Yeah. We're not going to
maybe starvation. Maybe I'll give that. But like there's not active warfare happening in our country.
It's just like the rate at which, like we were talking about Dorian and Aelin and Kale in the first few books. Like they're teenagers.
Yeah.
And Aelin is a trained assassin.
Yeah.
A trained assassin.
That's crazy. She's killed people for
and
her
she's
job.
like 18 years old.
Yeah.
Like, that's why when I like think about it, I'm like, okay, yes, this person is 20. But like, not in like my kind of 20.
Yeah.
Because my kind of 20, no way.
Oh, for sure. Well, you know what? Hold on. One more ACOTAR spoiler. So, in case. Because this actually makes me think of it. Silver Flame's opening. Nesta's just like, fuck it. I'm living forever. I hate my life. I'm going to get fucked up and fuck everyone. And everyone's like, how dare she? What? She's going to live forever. Let her do it for a couple of years.
Let her be a petulant child for a couple years.
Why can't she do that for a few years? She just found out she's going to live forever against her will. She's in a world she doesn't want to live in. She kind of just wants to fuck around and forget. Let her do it.
We're Nesta apologists here.
Yeah, oh, for sure. But all that to say is that, like, once you know you're going to live forever, I'm sure there's some level of, like, well, let's slow down the process of having to grow up.
Yeah.
You know?
I think you're real spot on.
A 19-year-old who's lived through hell and back and is a freaking assassin is going to be mature enough to be with a 500-year-old who's had a few years to fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still grossed out.
So
didn't make it that much better. You like how we're going through rationalization of this? I love it. Okay.
We're trying.
Moving on to a new topic so that you don't have to listen to 45 minutes of that.
For real.
All the battles in this book are amazing. And like, speaking of Lysandra is the MVP of this book, like the quiet MVP. Without Lysandra, they would all be dead by chapter 25.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
Like without Lysandra, nothing would have been a success.
Like she's a star player.
She is, and she's kind of like hanging in the back. Although I do love, there's the scene where she's like laying on Aelin's lap while they're having a really important conversation. And she's like, at certain moments, it's like she laughs like a cat, or like she like nuzzles into Aelin more. And I was like, kind of, can I just turn into a cat and nuzzle somebody sometimes?
Seriously.
That's a great life.
Like, I love their relationship.
It's amazing.
It's so good. And it's like so funny when you think about like where they started.
Yeah.
Where they are now.
For sure.
Lysandra's like, I would in fact die for you.
Yeah.
Like, I am putting myself in constant near-death situations, and I will do it for you.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh. And like, she single-handedly makes an entire like civilization believe that like the sea dragons are back.
I know.
Like, Aelin's like, we're just gonna trick these dudes into thinking this is happening, and then they'll be on our side.
It's so good. And I like how Rolf comes into the storyline in here, and he's very beginning of the book, but like, I would have to guess he's gonna be a player later, or maybe not.
He's a player in all those same ways that the other people are players.
Okay.
So like, yes, he's gonna be a part of the books, but like the people that we have, like those POVs, like those core.
Oh yeah, no, he's not gonna be that. I didn't.
We've got him.
No, for sure. And note to all fantasy writers: multiple POVs are always better than one.
You want to know what's so funny? People really complain about the jumping of POVs in Throne of Glass. And also people really complain about the jumping of POVs in Crescent City too. And I'm like, disagree.
Nope. Totally disagree.
Please give me someone else's mind.
If you can't figure it out, work on your reading comprehension. I don't have to tell you. I don't mean to sound like an asshole, but like, I'm sorry. She's very clearly like, this is now so-and-so's.
It's so obvious. But
It
people
is.
get like really jarred by like the shift. And I'm like,
Oh, I love it.
oh my God.
It keeps me awake.
I'm like, give me 8 people's point of views. Please give me 8 people's point of view. Give me more.
It also keeps me from being like, you know, like a good example would be like Iron Flame. Like I was like, oh my God, I don't want to hear her opinion anymore. You know, like even if somebody bugs you in the book, you don't listen to them for very long.
Yeah.
It bounces to somebody else.
And like that's the whole thing when you only have like one person's point of view, like you have a wildly like unreliable narrator.
Oh yeah.
So like Feyre, such an unreliable narrator.
Oh my God, totally. She couldn't even read for the first 2 books. Get out of here.
How are we supposed to understand if she can't?
I mean, a lead can't either. I think Sarah really likes a character who's illiterate, which like
Why?
a lovable illiterate.
Why is that?
I think she likes to, you know what I think it is? She likes to point out how important education is. It's a nod at the education system.
Somebody get Sarah into Congress and save the Department of Education. Please.
She likes to show you how much you would struggle if you couldn't read.
She is our advocate.
2 characters now. Sarah, it's becoming a trope, babe.
Oh, which one? No one in Crescent City because they're like in an urban.
They're urban. There's no room for illiteracy in an urban world like that. No.
But here,
yeah. Yeah, you can be a poor
Thank you,
slave kid.
Sarah.
Yeah, it's so funny.
thank you for being our hero.
Thank you. Appreciate you. You incorporate illiterate people and show how that's rough. Because at one point he's like, I'll give you a map. She's like, I can't read it.
Yeah.
She was like, I need you. Like, I genuinely need you.
You cannot leave me. I need you.
Yeah.
I will die
Like,
out
I'm
here.
smart. I can lie. I'm very capable of keeping myself alive. But, like, I won't be able to get where I'm going.
Yeah, she was literally walking. She was like walking in the wrong direction for like half a day.
I do love when he just gives her an air brace on her ankle so she can walk normal. That's probably...
It's so many little things that he does.
And he does it early on.
Yes.
And he just keeps doing it. And she, like, makes a little comment, like, he just, like, keeps doing it. And I was like, oh, you guys don't even like each other that much yet.
No.
That's, gets
And
me
then
every
when
time.
he, like, she gets her period. And
Oh,
he
yeah.
rips his own shirts.
So that she can...
Because she's not, like, malnourished anymore.
No, so she's
she
finally
starts,
getting
like,
it.
getting them again. And she's like, what the fuck? And then,
Yeah.
Which
Also, like, what up, Sarah, for, like, pointing out the fact that, like, she, like, barely bled most of her life because of her malnourishment. And, like, pointing out, like, she's finally healthy and so she's getting her period again. I was like, okay, storyline that you don't need, but also is actually a very good thing about women's health.
really important to include in there.
Yeah.
Very realistic.
Yeah.
Love that.
Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in general, like, Elite and Lorcan are just amazing. But
One of my favorite parts of the entire book is because I love when Lorcan's soft. And he's only soft with her.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Literally only her.
And so now that we're talking about Lorcan, we also gotta talk about the end of the book. But
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Judas. Fucking is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's the part right before they like realize the Ilkin are coming or whatever, but they're like laying together on the stones in the marsh, and she's like, I would hide you.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, you can't do that. Like, I'm a disgrace. I would be a disgraced male. Like, it would be frowned upon. And he's like, I wouldn't do that to you. And she's like, I don't care. She's like, anytime that you want to come to Paran, you come. Yes. I'll hide you. And like, that was like one of the only moments in Lorcan's entire life that someone gave two like fucks about him.
Yeah. Well, and then when they're like in his shield when they think they're gonna die, and he's like, I would have come to Paran. Fuck off, Lorcan. I was
So sweet.
Oh my god.
And then we get to the end. And you're like, Lorcan, what the fuck did you do?
But he hasn't, even when he's been like ride or die with a lead, he's never hidden the fact that he still serves Maeve.
Oh my god, no.
Like
That's why, because she's like, she says to him, she's like, are you in love with her? And he's like,
I mean,
No.
I was, kind of. I
Yeah.
wanted to be with her, and she said no.
Yeah, but I don't even think he was in love with her. I
No.
think that she was just one of the only... Lorcan has never been loved. He was a demi-fae living on the streets, like, no one loved him. So, like, oh, here's this woman who is giving him a home and giving him purpose. And it's like, of course you're going to grapple onto that and be like, I think I love you. Like, I don't think he ever loved her.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like a misplaced sense of, like, devotion and stuff. But, no, he never once, like, pretended to be anything that he wasn't.
Yeah.
He just made a really bad call.
Oh, for sure.
Like, a really, really bad call. And then, like, when he's crawling... Oh, wait, I think this might be a spoiler. No, this isn't really a spoiler. Doesn't matter.
For, like, this book?
No, for the next book.
Oh, is he crawling in the next book?
He's crawling in this book.
Oh.
When he's, like, it looks like he's crawling to Maeve, but he's not.
Oh, he's going to Elite, I'm sure.
No, so in this book at the end.
Yeah.
When he's crawling to Maeve, because he can't do anything. Like, the blood oath has been broken. He literally can't, like, do fucking anything. Like, he can't move. And Elide is, like, notices that he's crawling. And she thinks that he's crawling to Maeve.
Yeah.
But he's actually crawling to Aelin. Like, he's trying to help. But the only reason he even gives two fucks about her is because of Elide. Yeah, which that's not really a spoiler. Like, that's not a secret. Like, the only person that he cares about at all is Elide. Like, he literally, like, tells Fenris and Gabriel, he's like, I'll put down the shield, but you need to let her go and you can have me. Like, literally.
He sacrifices his life. They sacrifice their lives for each other.
Yeah, like, only cares about her.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, the absolute devastation in his face when he's like, Rowan is like, where's my wife? Because it's like one of the few moments that you see Lorcan, like, even though he's not, like, actually being human. Yeah. Because it's like described as like his face like pales and stuff. And like, this is a person that he's known his entire life. Yeah. And he has obviously extremely mixed feelings about Rowan. They have mixed feelings about each other.
Oh, for sure.
But like, I think that like one phrase, Lorcan was like, what did I do? Yeah. Like, what did I do to this person that I have a very strange relationship with, but there is kinship? Yeah. And I just took away.
I don't want to harm them that much.
And also knowing that he already lost somebody. Yep. You know?
I'm curious to read more about why he made that decision. I'm sure it comes up, but I do like that in the end, that whole section or most of it is told from Elide's perspective. I thought that was this is what happens when you have multiple POVs. Because if it was just Aelin's point of view, it had been told about her being put a mask on her face and shoved in a box, and it would have been nearly as interesting.
It's so sad.
I know. I was like, Aelin in the Iron Mask, what up? Her shout out to my girl Athena, because her favorite movie is The Man in the Iron Mask.
Really?
Yeah, what up, girl? I know you watched this. Yeah. But it made me think of Athena when I was like, oh, they put her in an iron mask.
Athena? Your movie's on.
Your movie's on. Although it is really sad. And like when she gets whipped again, like she was like over her tattoos that he put over her slave scars. Yeah, that was pretty rough.
The end of this book was really hard.
Yeah.
It, like, in two ways. It went hard.
Yeah.
Because it went hard as fuck. But it was also like really hard because like like when she says like, tell Rowan it was all borrowed time. Like, oh my God.
I know.
Like, she will always... So this is not a spoiler for Onyx Storm or for Fourth Ring or anything, but like, Violet is the type of person who will sacrifice herself for everybody else.
Yes, always.
Never will put herself first. Falls on her own sword as long as someone else is safe.
To an annoying level, yes.
But Aelin's the same exact way.
Yes.
She will never, and it all comes back to the man who haunts the narrative, Sam Cortland. Yeah. She will never, ever, ever let other people be harmed if she can be the one to take the beating. And that's what she does. She falls on her sword again because she knows that if she doesn't, the people that she cares about are going to be harmed.
Well, and she also kind of needs to. Like, for what needs to happen. Like, she needs to die. Or her blood needs to... Okay, well, I have a theory.
Okay, wait, go in.
So, like, her and Dorian's blood both can work to do this. To, like, seal...
The gates?
The gates.
Okay.
I love when, like... So, like, I was like, well, why can't they both give their blood and not die?
I don't know.
Cool, thanks. You can't say anything.
I literally can't say a word.
Speculating. I'm speculating by myself, and you already know how it goes.
Yeah.
But in her eyes, she has to die.
Yes, in her eyes, she's
Yes.
like, I have to die.
Like, this story for her is, I have to die no matter what.
Yes. But her going with Maeve right now is not her doing that.
No, that's not part of her plan.
No, she's doing it because she's like, if I come with you, will you leave? Like, will you leave the people I care about alone? And she thinks that by going with Maeve, that the people, that everybody else has a chance to do what their plan always was.
Yes.
So, just like the ultimate sacrifice. She's always making the ultimate sacrifice.
But in that moment, because she's put in between a rock and a hard place, there is no other choice.
No.
Maeve doesn't leave, like, she's like, it's either just you, or I also take a lead.
Yeah, which there was no way that
there was no way out of it. There was no, like, she had to be like, okay, just me. Let's go. I'll go willingly. I'm not gonna fight and bring in another innocent person who's already been through fucking enough and, like, can't even walk normal.
But, like, that's the thing. It's like, she's always... Like,
oh, yeah, for sure.
Baby girl's been through...
Because Elise's like, I'll go with you. And she's like, no.
She's like, no, you stay here, honey. I'll go suffer.
You're a little more broken than me.
And someone else, too. Like, Fenris has to go back.
Yeah. Well...
So, Aelin and Fenris are in enemy lands.
Yeah, and at least they're together. She has somebody on her side.
Mm-hmm.
He can't really fully be on her side because he can't break orders.
Yeah, like, he can't, like, if Maeve tells him to do something, he can't.
Has to do it.
Yeah.
But... I do, like, Maeve could have also released him and she would have been there by herself. And...
Oh, yeah, but Maeve's got plans.
Oh, Maeve knows that she's torturing him more by him having to be there for her. Like, she knew, like, Gavriel and Lorcan didn't want to be released.
Yeah.
Where she knew he did, and she's like, no, you're the one that gets to stay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, you're a bitch.
And, do you remember who's back in Dornell?
Kale? No, I don't.
No, baby, he's on a different continent.
No, he's somewhere else, yeah.
Fenris's twin.
Yes.
There.
His twin.
And that's another reason why Fenris was like, I want out, but I'll never leave Connell.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
Yes.
And...
his twin brother is there, yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
Maeve knows that. She's like, you're right, you will never leave him. So...
I was like, I can't.
Kale?
I don't know. Who are you talking about?
No, baby boy's on a different continent.
No, he is. He's going to get his legs sealed up.
Yeah. So.
There's a lot of differently abled people in this book.
Yeah. Great disability representation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say racial, but definitely disability.
Is anyone even described as tan?
Mm-mm.
Yes. The one guy at the end who comes in on the boats, his skin is described as tan.
Oh, the silent assassin?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's because he's, out in the desert.
And he has an accent. And on the audiobook.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And what's her name? I almost called her Atlas. No, what's her name? The redhead one.
Oh my god, I literally...
You said her name a minute ago.
I said her name a minute ago?
More than a minute now.
Ansel.
There we go. Atlas was close.
Very close, yeah.
Ansel... Why was I talking about that?
You said that the guy from the Silent Assassins had... the guy from the Silent Assassins had an accent.
Oh, yeah. In the audiobook, she has a southern accent.
Yes, okay. Well, I think I think the only, maybe ethnic people are from the southern continent.
No, but like a Alabama twang.
Oh, no, I do know that, yes.
Okay. I was like...
Random, so random. So
Are
random.
you south of the Dixon line?
So random.
Dixon line. I was like, what?
Where is Briarcliff? Is that north or south of Georgia?
I'm so confused by the southern accent. I
Take 2 lefts and you're in Florida.
I guess, there's no such thing as like fake fantasy accents, so you have to kind of like just pull from what you know, but it's just kind of funny.
Yeah. No, I think the most ethnic people are on the southern continent.
Okay, yeah.
For sure.
Speaking of me forgetting things, one of the things we didn't mention was the drink we're drinking. And I think it might be playing a role in our bad brain work tonight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We're almost done with them.
Also, the way that we both were just like, here it
We
is.
both lifted the glass up to show it. Okay, so we're drinking Dark and Stormies tonight. If you don't know what a Dark and Stormy is, it is ginger beer. Gosling's rum is typically what it's made with, but any dark rum and a lime.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good.
I have never had one before, and it's quite good.
It's very good.
I think I love ginger.
And what were we naming them in place of Dark and Stormy is the title?
Sea Dragon?
The Sea
The
Dragon.
Sea Dragon.
Yeah, because
Lysander?
sailors normally, it's a very popular sailor
Yes.
drink, so we thought it'd be fun called the Sea Dragon. Because our girl Sandra is
A
the
fake
real
one.
She is the real MVP of this book, so she deserves to have a drink.
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
Cheers to her.
Oh my god, it's so good.
It's still so good.
My first sip.
It's my first. So if our brains are a little fried noodles tonight, it might be because we drank straight rum pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh
man, we are on one.
Oh, gotta love us.
Okay. Well, what else is there to talk about?
I think that's all I got.
I think we did it.
Yeah. We did do it.
Such a good book.
So, perfect fantasy novel.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Okay. Rating.
Overall rating?
We're gonna start with romance.
A 3.
Girl, I was gonna give it like a 4. There's so much romance in this book.
So for me, like the amount of romance, I would say like about a 3. I think that like the romance in this book is there, but it is so.
There's several couples.
I know, but like the romance isn't like the super integral part of it.
No, for sure. No, the fantasy is.
I'll meet you halfway, 3.5.
Yeah, to me, it's just like you have the main couple, Aelin and Rowan, but then you have Dorian and Manon. You have Lorcan and Alid, and you have Lysandra and Adian.
All right, a lot of people are fucking.
Yeah, or at least have
Or
intention.
loving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was why I was like,
All right. I'll give it a 3.8.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You didn't have to agree with me. I was just like,
you
I just
convinced me. That's a 3.8.
Okay, sexy.
Oh, 2?
I was gonna give it like a 3.5. Just because Dorian's really sexy.
The 2 in there was like pretty much just Dorian.
Yeah.
I mean, like I did like I liked Dorian's stuff more than I like Aelin and Rowan's.
This there's not a lot of like, it's not like this is gonna be a
No.
very heavy steam. Although for a YA novel, this is very steamy.
Yes.
There was one point where I was like, I'm sorry, are we still YA?
I think that as the series goes on, it could definitely be less YA.
There were some descriptors in there where I was like,
I will also
this
say
isn't closed door.
I will also say, like, removing even, like, the sexual nature of some stuff in here, the way that this book is written, like, some of the scenes, like, the descriptions, I'm like, I don't know if this is YA anymore. Like, the gore.
Yeah.
Like, even in Kingdom of Ash, I'm like, you're explaining stuff. So I'm like, this is actually, I think as the series goes on, I honestly think the first half of the series could be YA, and the second half could probably be
a little, it's more adult, yeah. Oh, okay. Overall rating.
5 stars, baby.
Yeah, same. That was easy.
It was perfect. No notes.
No notes at all.
Mm-mm.
No, I have no issues. Okay. So, if you enjoyed us, please, wherever you're listening to us, rate, review, subscribe, follow, do the things. We appreciate you. Follow us on Instagram at BookedUpBabesPod. Follow us on TikTok at BookedUpBabes. Or you can email us at bookedupbabes@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all of it.
And if you want to watch us on YouTube,
Oh yeah,
you
do
get
that.
a little bit of bonus content.
There's a little more.
We don't always cut everything out on those videos, so
Nope, sure don't.
if you like the neurosis that happens,
There's a little bit more.
there's a little bit more.
Just a smidge.
Just a tiny bit. A little gift for you guys. But yes, watch us on there.
Yep.
Like us on there. Review us on there. Subscribe us on there. Anywhere that you enjoy our podcast, show us a little bit of love.
Do the things.
Yeah,
We appreciate you.
we do.
Okay, well,
I think that's it.
that's all.
All right.
All right, well,
Bye.
Me. It's my turn.
Okay.
It's me.
So if you can't find me, look to the western sky. If
Door
someone
unlocked.
told me lately. Wait, something so
Triggered. You were triggered in that moment.